guys, so today we are doing cornbread dressing, and we've already got our butter melted, and in goes our 8 stalks of celery, and we're just going to stir this to coat. And we're going to cover that and let it get about a 5-minute head start on the onion because celery does take a little bit longer. With that in though, then we can go ahead and work on dicing our onions. So, okay. Time for our onions to join the party. Again, stir to coat. There we go. Now we're just going to let this go for about 15 or so minutes, and we may occasionally have to pull the lid to stir. While those go though, we can assemble the other parts of our dressing. Okay, so cornbread deliciousness. And actually, the edges aren't super crusty. So, I'm just going to cut this into chunks. And you probably do want to leave your cornbread in larger chunks like this, because as you stir it later, they probably will break up a bit. Yay, crumbs. I think about half a pan of cornbread should do the trick. Now for our regular gluten-free bread. Okay, so plain old gluten-free sandwich bread. And we want to cut that up into similarly sized chunks. So probably about 3 by 3 for each slice. Okay, our veggies are done, and we are working on our dry ingredients. So we need 2 tablespoons of sage, and my tablespoon won't fit into the sage container, so I'm just going to use 6 teaspoons. Because there are 3 teaspoons per tablespoon, and we need 2, so that's 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 tablespoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of rosemary, and then I happened to forget to check if I actually had marjoram before I started doing this video, and I didn't feel like going out and getting more, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the marjoram with pre-blended poultry seasoning, which includes marjoram plus more of all the stuff that we're adding anyway. So there won't be as much marjoram flavor, but it will still be suitable. So there's 1 teaspoon plus a half teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And as we all know, I really like the fresh pepper. And so I'm grinding about half a teaspoon. If you're using the can, then just bump it up to a whole teaspoon, and you won't be standing here forever grinding your arms to death. So, alright, so our dry ingredients are ready, and we're just going to give this a quick toss. Okay, so we've got our veggies and our dry ingredients. All that's left are our wet ingredients, and then combining it all. We've got our 3 eggs here, and we always whisk before adding any extra liquid. Okay, now we're going to start off with 3 cups of chicken broth. 1, 2. Okay, now for the fun part, putting it all together. Start off with our veggies. Just give this a toss. And same thing with the liquids. We're going to toss to make sure everything's coated. Make sure the liquids really get to absorb into the bread. Okay, all that's left is to prep the pan and pop it in the oven. Okay, so I'm just going to spray down my baking dish with some aerosol oil. And before dumping this in, I want to give it an extra toss just to help break up some of the larger chunks and redistribute the liquid. Okay, now we can dump in. So, spread this out, kind of pack it in. There we go. And we're just going to cover this with foil and bake. There we go. Perfect. Now into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes at 375. Okay, it has been 40 minutes. We are going to carefully remove the foil. There we go. And pop this in another 12 to 18 minutes until it gets your desired shade of brown on top. Alright, so our finished dressing. I'm gonna let this cool down a few minutes before I dig in. As you can probably hear, it's still very toasty. So I'm going to not burn myself on that. It smells delicious though. Alright, so it's had a few minutes to cool down. And, ooh, crispy bit. So now it is time to serve up. This is yummy. Very good. And actually, as good as it is now, then I know it'll be even better tomorrow. So, you know, if you want to make this one ahead, then great, go for it. And if you want a little extra crispiness in here, then after your first bake, just stir it up and put it back in the oven uncovered for probably about another 15 minutes to get kind of a second crunchy layer on top. All this needs is some gravy and some cranberry sauce. Not that it actually needs those things, but you know. That's how I usually eat it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy making dressing for your Thanksgiving. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment or fill out the contact form. And have a very happy Thanksgiving.